Hello Willow class and welcome to your learning journey today. Today's date is Tuesday the 26th of January and yesterday we started our brand new learning journey. It's a science learning journey and we're thinking about our question. How important are these spiny little animals? How important are hedgehogs in the garden food chain? Now, yesterday, you started to become excellent explorers. We thought carefully about what we might find in a garden, which plants and animals we might find, and how that might change depending on the season. You did really well as well at starting to become those explorers when you took up my challenge of the scavenger hunt. Now, some of those things weren't easy to find, and you had to use the skills of a scientist to find them. When I did this with the children in school, we had to look very carefully for certain things. Particularly, we had to look very carefully to find a spider because they were all hidden away. We also had to look carefully to find a worm, and Mrs. Hawkins helped us do that because she was planting some daffodil bulbs. And as she was digging in the soil, she found them. So we had to look very carefully and make these careful observations about what we saw. Some of you might have seen some birds and things, and sometimes they're quite tricky to spot. We saw 2 pigeons resting up in the tree just outside Willow class, but we couldn't find a robin. Remember, if you didn't do the scavenger hunt yesterday, you still have time. It's still up on Class Dojo and I'd love to see some more photos of what you found out. So, we're going to have a think today a little bit more about our question and how we're going to answer it. Let's have a think, before we do that, at some of the things we found yesterday. Does anybody know what these are here? Ruby must have been looking and searching very carefully because there are just some signs that spring is round the corner. Here, what can you see in the middle, just bursting through the soil? That's right, they're snowdrops. They're so pretty. And next to the snowdrops here, we can see the start of another flower. Does anyone know what it is? That's right. That's the start of daffodils. They're the bright yellow flowers that come out. They look a bit like trumpets. Okay. And what's this? Kiwi found some amazing things too. And it was very cold yesterday. She found a frosty leaf. Look, you can see it's all curled over. The frost has got to it. It's all white. Well done, Kiwi. I was really interested in this from Jacob. He said he found his frosty pond. There was lots of ice there on top. There was some ice on the pond in school too. And just beneath the surface, we can still see the fish. Look, there's fish swimming round there. I wonder if soon, Jacob, you might see some frog spawn appearing. Julia did well. Look, she saw a robin and a bare tree and an evergreen tree. Now, evergreen trees are ones that don't lose their leaves in winter, okay? Other trees, like oak trees, all lose their leaves in winter and they'll be ready to come back in the springtime. Some of you even found some of the little tree buds, so the buds on the trees, where they're about to burst into life. And I wanted to show you this fantastic picture of a garden because our learning journey question, we're thinking about all the animals and plants that we can find in gardens. And this is Alexandrina's garden that I can see here. And I can see some mini beasts. I can see some butterflies here, a ladybird. I can even see a cat. I can see some evergreen trees and I can see a bird. Perhaps it's got a nest in this tree and some seagulls in the sky and lots of grass. I think perhaps this is a garden in the summertime when the grass is nice and green and I can see the sun out really strongly in the corner. So well done everyone from your work yesterday. Let's have a look at what we're going to think about today. So let's look at our question and have a think about it first to make sure we really understand it. And we're looking at our task wheel here that I talked to you about yesterday. So yesterday we thought about, what do we already know about gardens? What do we already know that we can find in gardens? And we went to have a look to see if we could find different things in our gardens. So we were really good explorers. Today we're going across to this yellow part here and we're thinking about what's our task for our learning journey. What are we going to do? So let's look at our question. How important? Okay, so if something is important, it means it's really, really key. It's a bit special and we'd miss it if we didn't have it. Okay, so how important? So that could be something very key, something key, and we would miss it if it were gone. Okay, so something important is really, really something a bit special. If it was gone, then we would miss it. Okay, how important are hedgehogs? Now, here's a hedgehog, and hopefully you've seen some of them before. Maybe not for real, because there's something about these animals that make them hard to spot. I wonder if you know what it is. But hedgehogs are small animals, and we may find them living in gardens or woodland areas. Okay, small animals that live in gardens or woodland areas. Okay, and we're going to find out some more about hedgehogs today, so I'm not going to write too much more in there. Okay, but they're these small little animals here. Now, hopefully we know what gardens are, and you all had a go at drawing those for me yesterday. So, a garden is an outdoor space close by to a house. Okay, or next to a house. And often in gardens we find some flowers, we might find other plants, and we might find lots of grass. And you drew some fantastic examples of some of your dream gardens. I saw lots of tree houses, and I saw some ponds as well, so that was really fantastic, and you told me what you might find in those ponds. Now, how important are hedgehogs in the garden? But there's something else in our question. In the garden food chain. Now, hopefully we all know what food is. Food's really important because it gives us energy. It's what we eat. Okay, but it's not just what we eat as humans, is it? It's what other animals eat too, and how they get their energy. Okay, and what does this part mean? A food chain. Let's think about what we know about a chain. If we think about a bike chain, okay, they're linked together. So a food chain. So chain is something that is linked together. Now we'll have a bit more of a think about this, because we're actually, for the last part of our learning journey, we're going to be drawing our own food chains and presenting them. So don't worry if you don't know what it is yet, because that's what all of our learning is going to be about. Okay, now we've had a think about our question, how important are hedgehogs in the garden food chain? We're going to think about hedgehogs in a bit more detail. So this is your task for today. I would like you to write down for me some things that you might already know about these spiny creatures, hedgehogs. See if you can have a go at writing 2 or 3 things that you already know about them. Try to write them in full sentences in this section here. And in this section here, I want you to write what you'd like to find out about them, and we'll gather all of those ideas together so that in our next few lessons we can really focus on finding those things out. So in this section, what you know, so you might know, maybe you know what hedgehogs eat, maybe you know what where hedgehogs like to live, maybe you know something else about hedgehogs, and in this section what you would like to find out about them. Oh, what do we need if we want to find something out? We might need some question words. So, for example, I might write in here, what do hedgehogs like to eat? I need to make sure that I remember our capital letters at the beginning, and we need a question mark at the end because we're asking a question. So see if you can think of 2 or 3 questions as well that you would like to ask and find out about. Okay, 2 or 3 things, what do you know? And 2 or 3 things, what you want to find out. Well done, everyone. And keep going, being those fantastic explorers today. Try your hardest. Well done.